Morning. Hi, Alison. Morning, Annette. Happy New Year to you too. Seems ages ago now, since the 1st of January. Even though it's like 8 days or 9 days. So it's very exciting because the first release of 2022 from Fairy Hugs is on the craft store tomorrow. Morning, Janice. So it's a one-day special, and it starts, hi Josephine, it starts at 6 p.m. as usual, and then we've got the 8 p.m. and then on Tuesday we've got 8, 12 and 4 as long as stocks last. So yeah, so it's very, very exciting. There are 34 new stamp sets being released, 33 of which will be on the craft store. I will have all 34 on my website, and there are 7 new stencils. Once again, everything will be available on my website after the one-day special has finished. So from 6 p.m. on Tuesday you'll be able to buy everything on my website, and I've got the stock downstairs ready to go, so it'll be sent out from Wednesday morning onwards. So let's get cracking, because I want to make 4 samples or 4 projects in this live, but we'll see how we get on. So we just have a quick flick through, so you can see on my journal page here, these are all new. We've got Lovebirds, the Heart Vine frame, this little fairy. There's only 4 fairy sets that are coming out. We've got this Cara, this is a magical key. There's some great new sentiments. I think there's 4 sentiment sets, maybe 5. It's also new. I'm really catching up still. So this is Friendship. This is your flower vine, I think it's called. Or I'm suddenly thinking, what is that called now? Hang on, bear with. It's called Foliage Swirls. So nothing floral, nothing vine about it. And this beautiful fairy here is Valentina. And this is the Heart Sparkles, this little tiny stamp here. So this is a £4.50 stamp, so it's one of the cheaper stamps. And this is the one that isn't going to be on the craft store, but I have it in stock. And I don't know if you can see in the bottom, I've done the ghosting technique, and this is the fairy, I can't remember the name. It's a stencil that is Fairy Sparkles, I think it's called. It's this one here. It's got stars and circles and hearts on it. All very exciting stuff. This is the fairy couple, and we've got the tree here, which is your heart tree. And again, you've got the Lovebirds, because they are designed to sit in the tree. This here is the bottom of that heart vine set there, and this little dangly heart is from a Cascading Heart set. Got a couple one here. I've already shared this on social media, so you can see that up close and personal on my Facebook page. And this one here, now the keyhole and the fairy couple, and I think the castle are in the one-day special bundle. In the background here we've got the wild roses. The stone walkway is from a previous release, and if you haven't got the stone walkway, and if you're purchasing anything from this release, then the stone walkway is, add that to your basket as well. I'm not sure if there's any end of call items on the craft store, so I'm not sure if the stone walkway will be available from the craft store or not. Until we go live, I won't be able to tell. This is Bleeding Hearts, so that's Dicentra is the botanical name, or Dicentra spectabilis, I think, something like that. We can get Dicentra in pinks, and I think there's a white one, and there's kind of mauvey colour ones. It's a really, really nice plant for your garden. So Cara's sitting in there. These are Sewn Hearts. There's 4 stamps in the Sewn Hearts, and Grateful Heart is a sentiment. We're going to do a version of this on a tag, I think. This is the Love Shack, and I cannot say that word without thinking of the B-52s. Hopefully you'll, if you don't know, Google that track, Love Shack. It's a happy song. Really like that. Anyway, so we've got the wooden fence. This is from your Fairy Berry set, and the little berry in there. We've got the wheelbarrow. The lovebirds get everywhere, absolutely everywhere. We've got friendship, and this is the tops of the heart, Sewn Hearts here. And again, we've got the wild roses down the bottom. I think the roses are going to be really, really popular. Oh, I've got one of the stencils in the background here as well. I've forgotten about that. The stencil's just everywhere. And that's Magoo from the previous one. And here, again, very, very simply, we've got the heart tree with the lovebirds in it. Friendship, Sewn Hearts. We've got Ladybug family as well. You can see the Sewn Hearts can underline sentiments quite nicely, and we've got that stencil in the background. So those are my journal pages. Then I'll just quickly show you while everybody's joining. This is the one that I shared today. So this is a really cool technique that I got from Ranger, and this has got dilution sprays in the background. It's got lemon zest, and it's also got crackling campfire distress spray staying in there. So it's a really cool technique. You can see it, hopefully you can see it's shimmering. It's very hard to catch shimmer on a camera. It is beautiful, the Bleeding Heart. This was a bit of an experiment. This is combining Studio Light pocket die, which was in the one-day special when we did I did the planners. This is the top of the heart tree going around the edge. I've put inside. I've put a shroom. There are 3 shrooms. These are the 3 shrooms that I've put on little tags. And you can see the Condo Dwellers 2, which I believe is actually a stamp that you get free with one of the bundles on the craft store. So it is a good track, isn't it, Petra? So yeah, the Condo Dwellers are available. Condo Dwellers 2. There is the Condo Dwellers 1, which is available on my website. And you can see the shrooms will work really well with the Ladybugs as well. But they'll work on smaller cards. They don't have to be tags. Anyway, those are they. And easy to do, clean and simple as well. That's quite a clean and simple card. We can do versions of these probably today. Isn't that pretty? But it's just so simple to create. And again, the lovebirds. This is the one I shared yesterday. The roses, I really like the roses, both this one and the wild roses, because you've got that cross-hatch detail. Do you remember the poinsettia from the Christmas collection? That had that cross-hatch detail in it, so it makes it really easy to colour in. Bit of stencil work in the background. That is for me, is a really nice card. Got a few tags here with the keyhole and the fairy couple. And again, that stone walkway and the castle. This is a really cool stencil. I think this one's called Orbs. It's very kind of retro, but has like depth to it, so you feel like you're going into it. It's just tremendous. Beautiful maze garden here with a heart tree in it, and we've got Cara sitting on the side there. These are your I think it's called Cascading Hearts in the background. I think that's what that one's called. But I'm done with it at the moment. So I will get the names. By the end of the one day special, I will have all the names off pat. But when you've got 30 odd new stamps, it's very difficult to remember all the names. This is Amia or Amia. AMIA, her name is. And this is the Hearts banner, so she's actually reaching up towards that. Again, we've got roses in there. This was a card that went a bit wrong, but it's still, you know, a card with the fairy couple in the heart, and one of the stencils in the background. So those are all my samples, I think, that I've made. I've made quite a few. Just very quickly, these are how the stencils stencil out if you just ink through them. So they are really, really lovely, these stencils. Brand new. Like I say, I do have them in stock, and they'll go live on Tuesday at 6 p.m. So you've got your heart sprinkles. This, I think, let's see if I can, all sparkles. Forgive me if I get the name wrong. Then you've got the fairy swirls. This is your flower vines, I know that. Those are your fairy spirals, and these look a bit like a fossil, don't they? These are your bubbles. These are your water stains, and these are fantastic for the little condo dwellers to sit inside the little circles. And that one, actually, they could do that on that. And again, and this is the orbs. I mean, it's just such a cool 3D feel to this stencil. So anyway, let's crack on, because I've waffled on for 12 minutes already. Let's make something. So as always, we're going to start quite simple, because that's how I roll. It's always, you know, good to kind of get to know your stamps and see how you actually want to use them simply. So let's take, decisions. Have I got out the colour I want? That one's a bit light. The trouble is, some colours don't show up very well on the camera. Let's go for this one. Let's go for Pick Raspberry. So I'm using Distress ink, and we're going onto my 4-inch round jelly plate as per. And I do have some left in stock at the moment. And we're going to just use one of the my very squeaky 4-inch brayer to move that colour around, and you can't see it, but that's cool. Okay, and we're not going to complicate it by putting stamps on or anything like that. All we're going to do is have a few water splats, because I like my water splats. I'm comfortable with my water splats. Oh, go away. That's probably put a dent in that. Let's have another go, just in case. What that was doing there. I did have a reasonably clear desk. It is clearer than it used to be, but it's still not brilliant. A little bit of water on my craft mat. Pick it up with a brush and do some tapping. That'll do. So easy to do. Right, so my plan will be, let's see if we can get this where we want it. I think I want it near the top. So this is just an A6 card. So we're going to have it so that it's in the middle, near the top. And this becomes a stamp. So you can see ignore the rope, you know, don't use VersaFine Clear or a permanent ink on here, because it doesn't come off. There we go. So because that's Pick Raspberry, that shows up quite nicely. Kitchen Flamingo is a little bit light for showing on camera. Right, now some stamping. And we're going to take Bleeding Heart, our Dicenter. I'm going to put it up to my press to impress right in the corner, so if it does move, I've got like 97 million magnets here now, because I've got spare ones from my Studio Light press. So we're going to put all those around there, make sure it doesn't move. You do want to make, really, ideally, that needs to be dry, so let's just blot it off with some clean tissue. Otherwise it won't stamp. It's nearly dry. Okay, that's a dirty one, let's get rid of We were hoping that this would be in the one of the December shows, but obviously holidays and things get delayed all over the world at the moment with everything that's going on, so we're a bit later than we wanted to be. So we're going to put the Dicentra in there. Now I do want it to be so that the couple are going to sit nicely in there. Okay, let's have it so it's like that, that'll do. And I've got room for a sentiment down below. Nocturne Versafine Claire, because we want it nice and bold. Now remember that sometimes when you have a new stamp, photopolymer stamp, because these are photopolymer, then occasionally you will find a little bit of pooling. Just clean your stamp off and then re-ink, and then you'll be absolutely fine. But I've actually used every single stamp. I think there are one or two in the Ladybug family and one or two of my Sewn Hearts that I haven't used. Maybe one of those I haven't used, but I've used absolutely every stamp set. Lift it carefully. That's pretty good first go. Oh, missed a bit up there. There we go. I'm going to go just a little bit more because I want it darker. And hopefully it hasn't moved. Right. Okay. Yep, that's good for me. Where's my tissue? Obviously, I don't clean my stamps. This is about as clean as they get. If you're using archival, it will stain your stamp. You can actually, Versafine Clay is quite interesting because I have, when I don't know what I've done to my stamp, but I thought, oh, I better clean that. And I've gone and just used a scrubbing brush under some warm water, and then it's come off, it's come clean again. So you can actually clean it off, but life's too short. And this is a good way of storing my stamps. I put the number and I put the name, and then when they're in my storage, I can just flick through and find the one I want. So that really helps me. Then we're going to put the fairy couple. The fairy couple are going to sit on the bleeding heart. We're going to just sit like so. Let's see if we can move their heads. One good thing about a dirty stamp is that you can see exactly where it's going. Right, so that's going to go there like that, and we can stamp. Let's stamp the sentiment at the same time. What we've just done with it, there it is. We're doing laughter. So we've got laughter is timeless, imagination has no age, and dreams are forever. That's a nice sentiment, isn't it? And it's kind of got a mixed font to it. Let's have that up there so that doesn't move. And we can just about get laughter underneath there like so. Let's hope that's straight. Everything's straightish. That's in the way. Let's swap that for that one. I'll put that one there. That's a bit of a fat one, that one is. Right, it's better. Take your time when you're doing your stamping, enjoy it. I have thoroughly enjoyed, because I've made, after I finish this live, I probably will have made 23 samples, I think. There will be a lot from the design team. They have had a blast, and if you're not already in the Fairy Hugs store Facebook page, do go and join that, because there are just loads and loads and loads of sneak peeks. I mean, there is the Fairy Hugs design team that do the samples for the TV, but there's also a Fairy Hugs social media team as well. I've got a bubble there. Can you see that bubble? That means that's not going to stamp so well there, but we'll persevere with it. Oh, it's not too bad. that's fine, so I'm going to take that off. Yes, so so the social media team as well have been posting, so there's just loads and loads of sneak peeks going on already. I'm sharing as many as I can to my Facebook page, so do have a look on there. While we're on the subject of Facebook groups, if you liked the Studio Light shows that I've been doing, do go and join the Studio Light Creative Community group, because again, they do lots and lots of projects on there. At the moment, they're doing lots with the sweet stories that I had on the craft store on the 5th and the 6th. So, squeaky desk. She's not dark as I want her. That's better. That's better. Okay, so they're sitting in there looking out and dreaming. So there's our first project done. Easy peasy, no problem. Put that in my pile. And we'll go on to number 2. We're still going to be quite simple. Making some proper cards. Again, we're going to go for another A6 card. Just grab one. Oh, I've got one there. There we go. And we're going to use our shrooms. Hi, Jennifer. So we've got shrooms, funky shroom. We've got 1, 2, and 3. So the idea with these is, and I love the acetate packaging, and I do love that because they're all individual sets, you can actually place them where you want to. So the idea is that we're going to have our shrooms in a row. Shrooms in a row, that's what we're going to have, and we can get all 3 onto this card. But I don't want them floating in midair, so I'm just going to do a little border down the bottom of my card. So let's get some low-tat tape. Try and get it straight. So if we start at the bottom and gradually go up, hopefully that'll be all right. Let's just check. Yep, that's fine. Right, so let's get a little bit of colour on there. So let's go for our Kitsch Flamingo. We're going to go Villainous Potion. Again, I'm using Distress ink. I'm tending to use Distress ink because just in case I want to stamp in that area, because I don't like the way that if you fall off an oxide border or an oxide background, then the ink changes colour because of the oxidization. It's really weird and it really annoys me. So we're going, you probably won't be able to see very much of this. I'll build it up. I don't want to go as dark as Pick Raspberry, which is why we've got the Kitsch Flamingo. And you'll see it more when I take away the tape. And I'm using one of the Craft Artist blending brushes. Okay, like so. Lid. There's the lid. Then we're going for our Villainous Potion, and we're going to bring in one of the stencils. So it's always decisions, what stencil should we bring in. We won't get much of that in there, so I'm not sure whether that, let's go for that one because I really like that one. I need to remember how far I'm going. It must be slightly over, because this measures 5.5 inches. I think it is A5 in width. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's A5 in width. So looks like my card is actually 6 inches. Yeah, it's 6 inches. So that's not to worry. So we just take it off the edge a little bit and we can extend it. Doesn't have to be perfect anyway. Get my bases covered. Shall I move up a bit so you can see? Okay. See if we can get it straightish. Building up the colour. I think this would look great with the funky shrooms because it's a very, very funky background. Oh, so we can pop that one over there like so, and then we can extend it just on the edge there. So there's our border. Clean that off in a little while. Put the cleaning bits on the floor. Do that. And we'll remove our tape. Then we've got ourselves a cool border. Isn't it rude when relatives visit, eh? On a Sunday morning. Right, let's get stamping. So again, we're going to go up into the corner. And what I'll probably do is stamp 2 and then add the third one. So we'll pop that in the middle there. I'll see if I can manage to keep that magnet. I might not be able to use that magnet, but we know that we can put magnets down the bottom quite easily because we're not stamping there. So let's just figure out where we were going with these. So we'll have that one there, that one there, and that one there. So yeah, we're going to have to lose that one for now. Lose it. If you try and stamp too many at once, sometimes it doesn't come out so well. But we could live dangerously, so let's do that. There you go. Oh, I might be able to use it. I can. It's just the packaging that is stopping me. No, I'll do that one in a minute. Let's not overdo it. We need to have that one there so we know where we're putting it. So, just drop it down so it's not floating in midair. Okay, happy with that. There's a magnet. So we'll do these once again in Nocturne Versifying Clay. And I won't colour them in now, but I would add some, probably, because some of them have got flowers and you've got circles in there. So I would use like the pinks and the purples to colour them in, obviously with green on the vines. So very much the same, similar sort of colour scheme to the tags that I showed you at the beginning. So if you missed seeing my samples at the beginning, then when we're finished, you can just go back and watch from the beginning, and I will upload this to YouTube later on as well. My squeaky desk. Okay, let's just go again. Don't stress about it. There's nothing wrong with the stamps. There's nothing wrong with how you're stamping. Silhouette style stamps quite often need a second, sometimes a third stamping. Do make sure you've got a nice juicy ink pad. So if it's not stamping very well, you need to either re-ink or buy yourself a new ink pad. Versifying Clay is definitely the one of choice to use for me. There we go. Crash bang wallop. You're late too. How rude, Barbara. Yes, you can do that. Yes, yes. I'm a bit lazy, Petra. Petra's saying that you can hold your stencils in place by using it on your stamping platform and using the magnet to keep it in place. Yeah, you absolutely can do that. I'm very lazy. I just hold it with my fingers. I've always done that. So this is Funky Shroom 1. Let's make sure I put that back in the right place. And this is Funky Shroom number 2. And that's going in that one. And then we're going to do Funky Shroom number 3. What have I done with it? There it is. I ask you where I've done with it and then I answer myself, don't I? So we're going to pop these. This one in the middle. Like so. They're really cool, aren't they? Definitely part of Fantasyland. Obviously you can just use one at a time. You don't actually have to use all 3 on a card. I just wanted to see that they'd all fit, and they do. I say I'm a little fraction bigger than an A6 here, but you can see I've got the space in between, so you can definitely get them on an A6 card. And sometimes it's nice to make dinky cards and you know, keep it fairly simple. I say fairly because it is fairly simple. Okay, there we go. There's our 3 shrooms, Funky Shrooms. You see, when I first started working with stencils, stamping platforms didn't exist. Not even the Tim Holtz one was out then, which I've never got on with. Yeah, so you had no choice really. Low tack tape was the way to go. So obviously to dress it up, what we can do is bring in some of our other bits and pieces. Did I bring? No, I didn't sort those out. Bear with me a second. And we'll bring in the Ladybug family. So we can have a couple of ladybugs on the ground. So you've got a mix with the Ladybug family. You've got a mix of those that have got black bodies and those that have got sort of clear bodies. So that's quite cool. So let's have one just pottering along there like that. And we'll have another one, slightly bigger one. I've tended to use these 2 smaller sizes, not the bigger ones. So the stamps are very sticky, so they've got a really good grab, which isn't very easy when you're trying to position them on here. If your stamps stop sticking, then it's probably because they need a clean. They might have embossing powder or some of your anti-static powder on them. So again, just give them a bit of a wash with some warm water, and they'll be absolutely fine. So Condo Dwellers 2. Condo Dwellers 2 is on the show. You can see this one doesn't want to stick. So she's going to stand. Let's see, she can stand in the middle there. She's very important, her. And then we can have some flying in. These have been used to death. I use these all the time. So we can have one flying in there. And we can have one perhaps coming in over there like so. I think 3's enough. They're all not sticking because I haven't washed them. Where does that one go? There. Right. There's 6 Condo Dwellers, as you can see, with the Condo Dwellers 2, and then there's 5 little fairies in the first Condo Dwellers set. Obviously the bees are going to work very well with these as well. The fireflies will work very well. All of your little animals, you could bring the mice in from previous release. The squirrel, the bunnies will work too. So, you know, everything kind of works together really, really well. Made a right mess there, haven't I? Because all the stamps are separate. clean that rest of that up in a minute. Okay, there we are. So I think that's my seam finished. Like I say, I would actually I will actually add some colour, so when I share this on social media it will have some colour on it. This is Sentimentally Yours watercolour card, the super smooth card that I'm using, so it's very good for stamping on, and it's also very good for your watercolours as well. So I'll be using my blending brush pens to add some colour to it. And then that will be finished. So obviously there's not a sentiment on here, but there's obviously you can stamp one of the sentiments inside your card, and that will finish it off. Sentiments don't always have to be on the front. So let's move my magnets. So there we go. It's cool, isn't it? Definitely needs colour. Definitely needs colour, but that'll take me a little while to colour in, so I'm not going to do that in front of you, because I want to. It's all about the composition, isn't it? Shrooms are on your list. Good, good, good. That's good to hear. Get them shrooms. Well, what we're doing now, let's have a look. All right, let's do that. Right, so let's do one more A6 card, and then we'll do a tag. Right. Want those there. Right. Oh, we've got that one as well. I don't think I'll manage 5. I think that'll be a little bit too ambitious. That's the word. I don't want to keep you from your Sunday for too long. Right, so low tack tape again. So this time we're going around the card, so just on the fold there. So all I'm doing is putting it right against the edge, or more or less against the edge, to create a masked off frame. Try and do it nice and straight. Last one. So there's my masked off frame. So in the centre is the card that's actually exposed. Then going to my stencils. Use that one, use that one. Let's use, I really like that one. Yeah, let's go for this one. We go for the Fairy Swirls. Now the Fairy Swirls, if we go to the one I've actually inked through, if you have it up this way, you've got kind of like hearts, or implied hearts, but what they are swirls going that way. So if you have it that way, it looks entirely different to if you have it that way, which is really cool. So let's ink through this. It doesn't matter that it doesn't go to the edge, because we're only going to ink up that there area in that there middle. So let's go for we'll stick with our Kitsch Flamingo, I think. And because then I don't have to clean my brushes or anything. So I've got it on this one here, and let's see, let's go through here. Again, as Petra says, if you're unsure, you can actually secure the stencil on the side as well if you wanted to with low tack tape. You can use your magnets, but you know, you know what I'm like. I just go for it. To be honest, because you're using these Craft Artist brushes, you don't actually make quite such a mess if it moves, like you would do if you were using your blending tools. And actually, these brushes are very good for fine stencils like this one. It doesn't lift them up, because if you lifted up a part of this fine stencil, it would constantly want to lift up. I'll show you what I mean in a minute when I just take this off. I think that'll do. Yeah, nice subtle background. I'll show it to the camera in a minute. So if you're using a regular blending tool, so one of these jobbies here, then sometimes what happens is that you'll end up going under one of the like finial bits here, and once they're bent like that, then they will constantly keep snagging on things, but the brushes don't tend to do that. So I do have some of those in stock, so if you want to add some of those when you order your fairy hug stamps, if you order your fairy hug stamps from me. And I know that John's got a one-day special on the craft store, that's a craft artist one, that starts at 6 o'clock today, so you know we'll have those on there as well. Right, so now if we take this away, then you'll see, I'll hold it up because I know it's very light, but that's what I want it to be. And yes, you do waste quite a bit of latex tape. See if I can hold it up for you. Can you see? This stencil is a die. Isn't it pretty? Hold it that way a bit. Blending brushes on parchment. I don't tend to use parchment very often, to be honest, Kathleen. I'm sure they would work fine if that's what you're asking me. Right, let's start stamping. So into my Press to Impress. Again, I've got these in stock, and again, John might well have them on his show. They'll be in the brand shop anyway. Let's see. Put one in the corner there. So I want to concentrate my stamping pretty much in this area here. So this is the magical key. The idea is that the magical key is going to go about there. Valentina sits perfectly on lots of things. She's going to come here. Then we're going to have a sentiment. We're going to have sending fairy hugs up there. This is a very, very... We are doing quite clean and simple. So the sending fairy hugs is going up there. So I'm only going to stamp one at a time because I don't want my sentiment to kind of end up in the wrong place so Valentina can't sit nicely. So we're going to have the key about there. I like them to come off of my stenciled area because then that creates movement. So I like to see that. So we stamp our magical key first. I didn't get rid of that dirty mark there, did I? Yeah, I think it depends on what ink you use, doesn't it? If you were to ink onto parchment with something like archival, that will dry quicker than some of your other inks. But obviously archival is going to stain your brush a lot because it won't wash out because it's permanent. It's all swings and roundabouts, isn't it, really? Give that a good old press. I love the detail that's on the end of this key. It's absolutely beautiful. It's like key to your heart and all that sort of stuff. And the fairy couple do sit beautifully on the key as well. Right, so we're only going once there because that looks pretty good to me. See where I get dirty fingers. Look at the state of my fingers. Nothing a good wash won't fix. Right, so now we've got Valentina. And she's going to sit just on there, like so. And we can probably do our sentiment at the same time. Sending fairy hugs. I actually, because I like doing the scene building. I really like the scene building. Now I've got used to doing it. but I actually just really like Clean and Simple as well. It's funny, they're like complete pole opposites to each other, but they're a lot of fun. I adore these stamps, absolutely adore them. There's not been a collection that I've really thought, oh, I don't like that. I've just loved every single one. Problem is now I've got so many, because we're up to 359 designs now with Fairy Hug. Do brilliant ink pads dry quickly, Judy? Because my experience in the far distant past was that they were a right pain to get to dry. Yeah, 359 stamps. So look at the detail on her. I don't think we need to go again, actually. I think she's perfect as she is. Let's just clean this up and then I can show you this one, and then we'll do a tag. How are we doing? We're doing all right. The next one is a little bit more complicated, so we definitely won't be doing 5. But that means I've got loads. I've got loads of demos planned. Loads and loads and loads. But, you know, you bet your bottom dollar that I won't have to. The thing is with these, all I need to do is cut my backgrounds out and have some cards. So I'm good to go. Where's Valentina's backing? Oh, there it is. You know, I get really paranoid if I can't find all my bits. It definitely has helped since I've done this new filing system. Right, so let's do. So this is our... Oh. This is our Valentina on the magical key. She's lovely, isn't she? So maybe in the studio I might go for Pick Raspberry in the background if I do something like this, because it is quite light, but I like it. I like it. Right, so that's number 3. 11:48, not too bad, because I did waffle on for about 12 minutes when I was showing you samples and things at the beginning, so that's pretty good in just over half an hour to do 3 cards, isn't it? Obviously I did have a think beforehand, but right, so this one we're going to throw loads at it. So we're not doing a journal page. A dirty mark there, but that's fine. I don't know what that's come off. So, unfortunately, I can't get any more of these Studio Light tag dies at the moment. They're not available at the UK stockists that I use. And the planner dies as well. I'd like some of those as well. But I'll have to try and see if she will get some more. Right, so the plan with this is this is the largest of one of the tag dies, the Oriental tag die. And it's one of my oxide backgrounds, which I've demonstrated on lots of Fairy Hugs Facebook Lives beforehand. So I won't show you this again. I've already got my reinforcer on there, so the back's ready to go already. I was going to do the lovebirds as well. Oh, we'll do it another time. I might do another Facebook Live next Monday once, no, not next Monday, next Sunday, once everything's settled down again. Right, so the idea with this one is we're going to have the Love Shack baby. Yeah, but Mr. M's Facebook Lives are just masterpieces, aren't they? So we've got the wooden fence. So the wooden fence is going to be perhaps over there. We're going to bring in the stone walkway. Remember, that's available already. So that's going to be coming down here like so. We're also going to take Cara, and because she's a fairy, she can sit anywhere, and she's going to sit on top of the Love Shack baby. Oh, I shouldn't really be laughing at my own joke, should I really? Where's my bits and pieces? Sorry. I might need her. Right, I've got one that's cut out, so I might need her. So she's going to sit on top of there. We've also got the wheelbarrow. And we're going to have a wheelbarrow down here. And in the wheelbarrow, we're going to put a berry from the Fairy Berry set. And we might bring in some stitched hearts and some Condo Dwellers flying around as well. So there's quite a lot going on. all in this tag. It's funny because I was doing a Facebook Live. It's not funny really, but I was doing a Facebook Live with my daughter. Not Facebook Live, FaceTime with my daughter. And I showed her one of the journal pages I did with the keyhole and the fairy couple. She said, oh, that's cute. I don't mind if you want to make me some bookmarks. So when I make a bookmark, I keep on thinking, well, I'll send it to Catherine for her books. So anyway, that's by the by. Not funny at all, Julia. So let's think about perhaps putting a bit of stenciling going on in the background as well. So I think we'll have some of the water stains, and I don't want a really dark one, but I don't want a really light one. What do I want? Let's try a bit of speckled egg. Might not be dark enough. But we'll see. If it's not dark enough, we go with something else. So this is the water stains one. And we're only going to just bring it, I think, just at the top. It might be a different colour that's on this brush, because this brush might not be that clean. Oh, it's showing up. That'll do. That'll do nicely. I don't want to do loads, I'm just going to do a little bit. So that hasn't shown up very dark just down there, has it? Let's put some more. I'm not really bothered about whether it lines up. Okay. A little bit more. Faff, 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 faff. So because of the nature of this one, it does mean that if it doesn't kind of go down straight away, you don't have to line it up, because all these water stains overlap anyway. So it's very forgiving. So I like that. That works. Okay, so that's my speckled egg. And I did think, I'm remembering what I thought, because we don't want the Love Shack baby to be... it's funny, isn't it? I'll probably, you know, now I've started, I'm going to be doing that all the time, and people are going to get so fed up of me doing that. So I think we're going to have it about there. So I think what we're going to do, so it's grounded, we're going to bring in just a torn piece of card, and we're going to ink with some green. So we're going to use Rustic Wilderness, wherever it's gone. I know I've got it here. There it is. So that it's not kind of floating in midair. So this is just a torn piece of card, and you can see I've used this for lots of greenery. And it's very easy to create your own stencil to do this with. And you can keep them for a very long time. Okay. Right. Easy peasy. Clean up again. You know me. I don't mind getting messy, but I don't like my project getting messy. Not unless it's supposed to be. So back into the stamping platform, and we get our Love Shack baby stamped out. You see that's our focal point, so that's the one we want to get in place straight away. Enough magnets. Loads of magnets, and we obviously have to stamp this first before we can put anything sitting on it, or and before we can get our walkway going on there. So let's pop that about there, like so. I'm going to just stick with black. I mean, it would look fabulous if we used one of the browns, but I'm going to just stick with black. And there's lovely detail in the roof of this. It's because it's a thatched cottage. I mean, obviously it's part of this collection, but you're gonna be able to use it for anything, you know, a new home card, you know, a card for a man, you know, anything at all. You're gonna be able to use this love shack. It's just a cottage. Obviously they haven't called it fairy cottage because we've already got a fairy cottage, so that's why. And because it's with this collection, that's why it's called Love Shack. Look at the detail. Can you see the detail in this stamp? You know, the beautiful doorway. Oh, I'm going to go a little bit again up there because that's not dark enough. But, you know, you got your little flowers. You've got all the thatch. You've got the lovely decorative roof there. It's just absolutely beautiful. Yes, you can absolutely use the Lavinia Hill masks. Absolutely. I'm a bit naughty. I keep on putting them somewhere and then not being able to find them again. I can always find a piece of card. That's better. Right. Okay. This is all, it all goes pear-shaped and I had to end up taking ages. I'll try not to be too much longer. Still, some of you have got patience of the saints, haven't you? See if you sit and watch Phil for I don't know how long. Now, where's my thing for Love Shack? Oh, it's a small one. Oh, I'll find it in a minute. It's got its name on it, so I know it's here somewhere. Right, so there it is. That's one good thing as well. I know exactly where they go. Then we're going to bring in, obviously I would add colour to this as well, so I'll colour it in afterwards. I don't know if it's very straight really, but it doesn't matter. So now we can stamp in our fence, and I will put a bit of a fence going on the other side as well, I think. So we can pop the fence just next to it there. And we can bring in the stone walkway. So I think I'm going to have to move it, aren't I? Yeah, because that's going to go off the page. Right, let's not do the stone walkway just yet. Do that in a minute. We can put Cara on top of here. It could be Valentina as well. She could sit on top. And oh, get off there. That's part of the wooden fence. Valentina, so we do those two. Tap, 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 tap. Full. Just like being in the studio and everything falls over. Right, so I'm going to go again. It's quite fine detail on the fence, but I want Valentina to be nice and dark, because otherwise you can see the bits of the roof. Obviously it's not a problem. You can always fussy, stamp one separately and fussy cut it and pop it on top if you want to. I hope that didn't move. Oh, it did. Oh, how naughty. How naughty. That's going to really bug me. Right, so what we'll do, we will bring in one that I've fussy cut, and that will go on top there like that, so you won't be able to tell. That'll be fine. Right, okay, we can always get by. If it was me, I'd throw it in the bin, but we'll carry on as if nothing happened. Do you know, I heard it move, and because I was talking, I forgot to move it back again. Where's the wee bits? Right, so we've got the fence. That's Valentina. fence, and we've got to put we're going to put the fence on the other side as well. So it's because I'm drifting, not that it's going to make a lot of difference in this. I hate it. I hate seeing that. It drives me nuts. We're going to have to go over a bit more so I can get the fence in, make sure it's up the right way. So the fence is going to go on his side here, because obviously this cottage has got to make sure that everything's fenced off, because well, it won't stop the rabbits, will it, but it might stop the dragons from getting in. And we have a little walkway going there, and then we're going to bring in the wheelbarrow. The wheelbarrow is just going to stand like so there. So stone walkway, wheelbarrow, and the fence on the other side. Probably will go again because I went twice on the fence on that side and it might look a bit strange. See, I did get away with the fence, but I didn't get away with Valentina. How rude. See, it's only a little bit, but it makes a difference having that bit of fence on that side. So our scene's nearly, he's getting there, it's nearly there. So fence, a walkway, stone walkway. Remember, the stone walkway is going to work very well with the mini castle as well through the keyhole. Right, so what else were we going to do? We were going to do some sewn hearts at the top, maybe. I wonder if we can get a sentiment on there. I don't think we need a sentiment on this one, do we? So the sewn hearts, we can perhaps have a swirly. Do I want to do that? Oh, faff, faff, faff. Let's have a go. Let's have a go. So let's use a block. I've got a little block somewhere. It's a big block. That's what I have to do. Sometimes if you want to stamp using a block, leaving your piece actually in your platform works quite well, because you've got that cushion underneath, so that kind of works really well. Let's stamp that off of the page. Like so, and then let's take this one. Stamp like so. Oh, and then we want some condo dwellers as well, and we need to stamp our berry. So condo dwellers, let's try butting this up on here again. Right, so we can bring in our condo dwellers. So we could have one sitting on the fence there, And we could have one coming down to see Cara, and we could have another one just stood in that bubble there. So we'll have 3. I like using 3. Of course, you could make like a Halloweeny scene and use the witchy dwellers as well, because they're quite dinky. So sometimes it just depends, you know, if you change the colour of your background, you can change the feel of your project. There we go. Right, so let's now construct. See to those in a minute. Oh, we've got to do a berry, haven't we? A berry for the wheelbarrow. This is where your little strips come in really handy. Let's go on to this one. Can't have a Facebook Live without a squeaky platform. One of these days I will actually deal with this. No, I won't. I never will. See, we could have bought some, we could have had a berry going in at the side there if we wanted to. That would have changed it, changed the scene, but we're only using this tiny berry on this particular project. It's so noisy. So there's our little berry. And what I would do is I'd probably stamp a whole load of them, because then I've got one that I've cut out here, like so. So to finish this one off, I'm not going to stick it down because I want to do some colouring in. I'd go around the edges with probably Lucky Clover, and then glue it in place onto my tag like so. I bring in my berry, and my berry would sit in there. That would, I'd just have a little bit of colour added to it. And then obviously, because Cara's all messed up, I'd bring in my fussy cut one and add that on there and colour her wings in as well. So that would be my tag. So we have done 4 projects in this Facebook Live. So we have the Bleeding Heart and the Fairy Couple. We've got Valentina sitting on top of the magical key, and we've got our trio of shrooms. So I don't think we've done too badly. An hour and 9 minutes. So just to recap, the Fairy Hugs One Day Special launches on the craft store tomorrow. That's Monday the 10th of January at 6 p.m. with another show at 8 p.m. And then there's on Tuesday there'll be shows at 8, 12 and 4. The stamps will be available to purchase also on my website from 6 p.m. on Tuesday, and the stock is in stock in the UK here now. I have it, and so I'll be dispatching orders from Wednesday. If you want to buy from me, don't hang around, because I've only got a certain amount of stock, and depending on how busy it is at the craft store, I might not be able to get any more, and if there's no stock at Fairy Hugs HQ. But thank you so much for joining me on this Sunday. Enjoy the rest of the day and keep singing Love Shack. Bye.